Good morning. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please join me in welcoming Laura with today's announcements.
So, good morning, St. Johnsbury Academy. Today is Friday, November 3rd, and it's a green day. Attention juniors and junior advisors. Please come to Fuller Hall during advisory today for a special class meeting. Please sit with your advisory. This is important for the content of the meeting and for attendance. You may sit with your advisory up front in the senior section. You can do it. See you then. Whether you choose to dress as Casper the Friendly Ghost, Glenda the Good Witch, or if your favorite costume paradox is finding a friend and dressing as two surgeons, get it? Paradox? We can't wait to see you tomorrow night at the Halloween dance and haunted hallway. Come to Streeter Hall from 7:30 to 10. Cost is $3 per person. Attention skiers and riders. Please check your SCJ Labs account for an email from Miss Greenwood with information about Burke Mountain season passes. Applications must be returned by November 30th in order to take advantage of discounted pricing. Calling all music lovers. There is an exciting opportunity to go see some classical live music next week. On Wednesday, November 8th, Mr. McKenzie will be taking a group of SJA students down to Hanover, New Hampshire to go see the amazing Carmina Burana. This orchestral piece, written for 2 pianos, percussion, and chorus, is not to be missed. And you may already know its spooky opening from movies like Excalibur and The Omen. If interested, please see either Mr. LaCroix in the Student Life office or Mr. McKenzie in the Learning Center. Please note, this trip is open to all students and tickets will cost $15 plus dinner money. Happy birthday today to Greer Kennedy, Maya Barney, and Bowden Danforth, Jay Spence, and a special happy birthday to Ilyana Valadakis from her friends. Happy birthday tomorrow to Maggie Howell, Raymond Roy, Noemi Torilla, Audrey Roy, and Molly Groft, and on Sunday to AJ Owens. And a special happy birthday on Sunday to Carly Withers from her advisory. Happy birthday.
Thank you, Laura. And now to preview an upcoming Caldwell speaker, please help me welcome Mr. Arain.
Good morning. You might be aware that even in quiet little Vermont, we have been suffering from the scourge of drug addiction and the violence that accompanies the illegal trade in drugs. Many of the drugs are manufactured with starter ingredients that increasingly are coming from China. The actual manufacturing and trafficking is overseen by cartels or organized crime syndicates in Mexico. And the business is all sustained by America's insatiable appetite for these drugs. Interestingly, of course, our school is well represented by students from all 3 of the countries that play such a prominent role in this destructive and deadly commerce: China, Mexico, and the United States. On Monday, the Academy will host a special guest from Harvard's Weatherhead Center for International Affairs. Dr. Marco Alcocer is an expert on the Mexican part of this pipeline, and he is going to share his expertise with us all day on Monday. You'll hear him speak very briefly in chapel. Some teachers have signed up to have their students meet with him during the school day. And then, at 7 o'clock in the evening on Monday, Dr. Alcocer will give a presentation that is open to all of you and indeed is open to the entire St. Johnsbury community. His presentation is entitled "From Drug Cartels to Criminal Enterprises, Government Crackdowns and the Evolution of Organized Crime in Mexico." So Dr. Alcocer was born in Mexico and immigrated to the United States when he was just 10 years old. This title of doctor makes him sound like an old guy, but I think he's actually a relatively young guy in his early 30s. I hope that you will plan to join us in the library at 7 o'clock fireside on Monday. Don't miss this opportunity to learn about how these criminal enterprises work and how the Mexican government responds to them. un mensaje a nuestros amigos hispanofones y sobre todo a los mexicanos aquí. Ven a ver la presentación del Dr. Alcocer. Queremos su apoyo. Gracias. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you. And now please welcome Laura back to the podium with a student government update.
Good morning, part 2, and happy November from Student Government. We're back with another monthly update of what we've been up to. But before I continue, could I ask that all student government representatives please join me on stage? While they're doing this, I'm going to keep talking. We want to share a little bit more about the different committees we have in student government and what they're working on this year. Our committee heads have created a brief overview of their committee's missions and goals. The Spirit Committee has had a great start to the new academic year, sustaining positive and spirited attitudes, particularly through Spirit Week. The Spirit Committee encouraged students throughout the classes to participate in Spirit Week activities and lend a hand in working to represent their themes. They're excited for the Winter Carnival and have begun producing potential ideas in anticipation of second semester's Spirit-related events, as well as ways to encourage students to get excited for future sports games, dances, and pep chapels. On the topic of encouraging students, to reach out, the Mental Health Committee's overarching theme for the year is community and support. In 2023, more than 4 in 10, 42%, of high school students experience poor mental health at some point during their school year. As a community, we need to address this, not as a rarity, but as something that most of us might struggle with inside and out of school. Their goals this year are to first and foremost move forward with our week for mental health, which we hope will fall during the second semester where spirits can be especially low. During this week, they want to host games in the field house, desserts at lunch, chapel talks to spread awareness, and relaxation stations. At the moment, their committee and NHS are both working on introducing our guidance counselors in the Tinker House in hopes that all students might feel more comfortable reaching out. For the Social Justice Committee, their mission is to spread awareness on various issues and aspects within both our school community and the greater community, from food insecurity to gender inequality to gun violence awareness. This year, they're working to organize several awareness weeks surrounding specific topics, as well as create interactive activities around campus for students to learn more. Now that you've heard a little bit about the social justice, mental health, spirit, and environmental committees, stay tuned for more about what they'll be getting up to this year, and get excited to hear about the Food and Parking Committee, PR Committee, and Environmental Committee sometime next month. And here are your student government reps. I've been hearing that not everyone is aware of who they are, so if you ever need to talk to someone about anything student government related, here's who you should contact. Can we give them a round of applause? They've been working really hard these last few weeks. They also didn't know that I was going to call them up. Also, on the topic of voicing your opinions, I'm excited to announce that from this point on, the first 10 minutes of our weekly Thursday meetings, which are at 2:45 in Fuller Basement, will be open to any student. If you have anything to share, that would be the time to do so, and we would love to have you there. Have an amazing weekend.
Thank you to Laura and our student gov reps. About 6 weeks ago, I was here on stage to talk about the transition from Walk for Hunger to the Walk for a Healthy Community. I talked about the power of community and how earliest communities were formed because people knew that we needed one another to survive. Then you heard from our community. You heard from Mrs. Kendall's incredible human services students about how to maximize health and nutrition in your donations, about how the little things that are often overlooked but very appreciated at food shelves. You heard from Chef Hale, who said we will walk, but much more importantly, we will work within our advisories to make a choice about how to help and explore the possibilities of one community focused on making something great. You heard from Hill's student leaders about why they were walking. Donnelly Johnson said, if we are consistent in our efforts to build a stronger, more understanding community, we can heal. Donnelly ended his remarks by asking us, what is one thing you will do this year to create a healthy community? And so here we are. Earlier this week, Mr. Jeremy Roberts and students Gage Hayden, Hunter Hooker, Aliana Mass, Corbin Johnson, and 2 students from LI, Kane Crooks and Joseph Garrett, took our food donations to NECA. Mr. Roberts and his students not only delivered the food, they weighed each box for us. And with the donations that have come in since, I'm thrilled to share with you that we donated 1,076.9 pounds of food to NECA. About half of that was staple items like rice and lentils, pasta, sauce, vegetables, peanut butter, crackers, and other not often donated items, salt and pepper, ketchup, mustard, instant coffee, tea, and powdered drinks, and that was due directly to the work that the Human Services class did in educating us. We also donated 18 birthday party in a bag bags, and next week, to our nearly 1,100 pounds of food, we'll also send 2 checks to 2 area food shelves, because in addition to the food donations, we also raised $2,670.46. As Dr. Howell shared, this month's theme is gratitude, and I cannot begin to tell you just how grateful I am because this community showed up. I can't tell you the gratitude and ensuing joy I felt as you showed up, box by box, bag by bag. One advisory came in with birthday bags hung the length of their arms. Another tossed spare change into a cup each day and put a manila envelope, deceptively heavy manila envelope, on my desk with around $80 in change alone. Another group rolled in with cases after cases of vegetables. Another group hiked Mount Pisgah on arguably the coldest morning we had to date this fall and raised $499 in cash donations. No matter how you contributed, how your advisory contributed, this wasn't a case of 1 or 2 people or 1 or 2 groups, because that amount of food and money is only possible through everyone, all of us, doing something. And that's community, and that's what I'm grateful for today. I wish you a happy weekend, faculty.